So what makes a pitch perfect? The perfect pitch lands in an editor's or journalist's inbox and perks their interest within the first few seconds. The worst pitches are those that hit the trash can a few seconds before they land in the editor or the journalist's inbox. Make sure your pitch survives. Here are 5 tips to make your pitch perfect. Number 1, know your client. Number 2, know your story. Number 3, know your media outlet. Number 4, know your audience. And finally, number 5, keep it brief. I am Zarina Banu, Senior Counsel at Ogilvy PR's office in Hong Kong, and I'm here to take you through the MediaXchange's guide to Pitch Perfect. Point number 1, know your client. Ask your client and ask yourself, what is the story the client is trying to tell? Have that conversation and go deep with the client to understand what their objective is by going to market, going to the media. Point number 2, know your story. What is the story your client is trying to tell? Have they understood all the elements that will go in the story and what the objective is of the story? This will enable you to kind of fit the needs of the clients with those of the media. So make sure that you have that conversation on either side. Having a story at one end that doesn't match that of the media outlets will be a lose-lose situation. Number 3, know the media outlet. So if it's a business story you're trying to pitch, think about the business outlet you're targeting. If it's the Financial Times, think about the audience there. If it's courts, for example, that target audience is very different from that of the Financial Times. So you need to know the media outlet really well. If it's an online or print publication, get to know the sections. Sometimes an op-ed section has a totally different audience from a feature section or from a hard news section. So you really, really need to live and breathe that media outlet inside out. Get to know it like you would your own parent. Point number 4, knowing your audience. Absolutely get to know your audience inside out. Which audience are you trying to hit? Are you trying to hit an older demographic, more influencers in your space, or a younger demographic, those more interested in feature stories? But this applies to all media outlets, no matter how small, how big, how influential, and how large or small their readership. So on to point number 5, keep it brief. Outline what it is the story is about in the headline. If you can't summarize the story in the headline, then kill the story. Have that conversation with your client. Get them to explain to you in one sentence what the story is about. And I mean one sentence. I don't mean 2 or 3, because that is the sentence that will perk the interest of the journalist or the editor at the other end. So as we all continue to face a massive deluge of information 24/7, do keep it brief. And with those 5 points, know your client, know your story, know your media outlet, know your audience, and keeping it brief, I wish you all success. Pitching is an art, not a science.